Story 1: The Baby Monitor Whisper. It was supposed to be a peaceful night in Medina, Ohio, when new parents Jason and Melissa tucked their 6-month-old baby girl Lily into her crib. They had just set up a new baby monitor system with night vision and audio to feel safer. As they crawled into bed, exhausted from weeks of sleepless nights, they finally felt like they could rest. At 2:46 a.m., the static on the baby monitor woke Melissa up. She sat up, groggy, and stared at the glowing screen when a faint whisper came through the speaker, "I see you." She thought it was a glitch and nudged Jason awake, but before he could say anything, the whisper came again, louder, "I'm right here." The screen suddenly flickered, showing the crib empty. Both parents jumped out of bed, hearts pounding. Jason grabbed a bat and sprinted to the nursery, but the crib was completely empty. No broken windows, no sign of forced entry, just a cold draft coming from the ceiling vent. Melissa screamed and ran outside in her pajamas to call 911 from the neighbor's house since their phones had no signal. Jason kept searching every room in the house when suddenly the baby's soft cry came through the monitor again, this time it echoed from above the ceiling. He pulled down the attic ladder and climbed up into darkness, his flashlight shaking. What he found up there was something no parent should ever see. The baby was lying safe, somehow untouched, on a dusty mattress surrounded by old toys, a broken mirror, and a plate of what looked like rotting meat. Nearby was a crusty stuffed rabbit with eyes missing, and in the corner was a small notebook filled with frantic scribbles, the words "She's mine" written over and over, along with dozens of crude drawings of eyes staring out from the pages. The police arrived and couldn't explain how the baby got up there. No signs of forced entry and no fingerprints, nothing, except one strange thing captured on the hallway cam. Around 2:41 a.m., a tall, thin figure was seen crawling across the hallway ceiling, almost like a spider, silent and smooth. The footage ends just as the figure's head turns directly into the camera and grins. They moved out that same week, but the footage was posted online and has been viewed over 22 million times. Some say they've seen that same figure in their homes, watching from the ceiling. Story 2: The Last Road Trip. In late August, 3 college friends, Emily, Rachel, and Tyler, were heading out for one last summer adventure, a spontaneous road trip across Montana before the fall semester started. They brought a GoPro, drone, and their phones, planning to vlog the whole thing. They didn't know this trip would turn into a living nightmare. They were deep in the mountains when their car overheated. They were stranded near an old road tunnel locals called Devil's Pass. There were stories about it being haunted, but they laughed it off, joking for the camera. The sun had just dipped below the mountains and shadows stretched long and cold across the ground. They walked into the tunnel, giggling nervously and filming with the GoPro. The inside was colder than outside, and their footsteps echoed weirdly, like the tunnel went on forever. A few hundred feet in, the GoPro caught something behind them, a blur, like someone darting between shadows. Emily turned around, suddenly asking if anyone else heard the whisper. Rachel brushed it off until they heard a child's laughter up ahead. They froze. The light on the GoPro flickered and a high-pitched squeal burst from the audio. They ran toward what they thought was the exit, only to find the tunnel looped around back to where they started. Rachel started crying, begging to leave. Tyler said, "It's just some prank," until the lights went out completely and the sound of breathing filled the air. The GoPro was still rolling in night vision mode, and what it captured has haunted the internet for years, a pale, long-limbed creature with no eyes, no nose, just a wide-open mouth breathing heavily. It slithered toward them sideways along the wall. Emily screamed and dropped the camera. The footage showed Tyler backing away, muttering, "It's inside me. It's inside me." Then static. Tyler was never found. Search and rescue teams scoured the area, but only Emily and Rachel were found miles away, barefoot and covered in scratches, with no memory of how they escaped. The footage was posted online and debunkers have tried to explain it as editing or hallucinations, but no one has been able to explain the thing with the mouth that breathed like it remembered you. Story 3: The Smile in the Window. Sarah and her husband Tom moved to a quiet little town in Indiana, hoping for a fresh start with their 2 daughters, 7-year-old Mia and 4-year-old Lila. The house they bought had been empty for over 40 years, but the price was unbeatable and the backyard was perfect for kids. It wasn't long before things started getting weird. At first, it was little things, Lila waking up crying, saying the man with the smile comes to my window at night. They thought it was just nightmares until one morning they found Lila's window wide open and muddy footprints on the carpet, even though they always locked the house at night. Sarah got nervous and installed cameras around the property, especially outside Lila's room. A few nights passed quietly, then at exactly 3:33 a.m., the motion alert triggered the outside camera facing Lila's window. What it captured chilled even the police. A tall man dressed in black, wearing no shoes, stood absolutely still outside the window, staring inside. His face was unnaturally wide, with an exaggerated grin stretched ear to ear. His eyes were completely white. He never blinked, never moved, just stood there breathing visibly in the cold air for over 6 hours until the sun began to rise. Then he slowly turned and walked backward into the woods, never breaking eye contact with the camera. The police reviewed the footage, but there were no footprints outside, no trace that he had ever been there. The next night, Sarah stayed awake clutching a kitchen knife, but the cameras didn't go off. She almost believed it was over until she checked Lila's room and found her whispering in the dark, "He came inside this time." The footage confirmed it. At 3:33 a.m., the smiling man appeared, not outside the window, but inside the room, standing over Lila's bed, just watching. The footage cut off with a loud static pop. When it came back, he was gone. The family packed up and fled the house that morning, leaving behind all their things. The footage was released and went viral overnight, with people claiming they'd seen the same smiling figure in dreams or outside windows in completely different states. One viewer said, "He watched me sleep too when I was little." If any of these stories made your heart race or your eyes tear up, don't forget to hit that like button right now. Drop a comment if you've seen something you couldn't explain, and share this with the bravest person you know, and of course smash that subscribe button, because we're just getting started with stories that'll make you cry like a lil baby face screaming in fear. Skull, I thank you.